Let's make a semiological analysis of the BBC Sherlock's final season teaser poster. But first, let's start with the definition of semiology itself. In short, it means the science of science. Those science cover almost every element that surrounds us and convey any data or feeling. Even when we can't explain it with academic terms, all of us can read almost every science subconsciously with the help of the cultural codes we learned since we were born. A sign is made of a signifier, which is the thing itself, and the signified, which is the meaning that signifier refers to. And there are three modes of signs according to the relationships between the signifier and the signified, which are icon, index, and symbol. An iconic sign is the most direct representation of the signifier, such as a photo of a person, whereas an indexical sign is not that direct, but its signifier and signified are still related to one another in a cause and effect relationship, such as smoke and fire. And lastly, in a symbolic sign, the meaning is completely arbitrary and cultural, like the words we use to communicate. Those letters and words have no natural connection with their meanings at all. So, let's back to the poster with this knowledge and try to detect the signs it contains. Today we will discuss the main three elements in this poster briefly. They are the use of color, light, and water. Also, before diving into those, we can also say that it contains a lot of iconic signs, such as the direct representation of the actors, couches, and all the set materials it has. Now, let's start with colors. We can clearly see that the tones of blue and red are dominant in the overall visual, and these colors also almost divided into the characters, like the tones of blue is more dominant in the Sherlock side of the frame, while red tones are dominant in John's side. Because these are the colors that represent their characteristics. Blue symbolizes knowledge, power, seriousness, and confidence of Sherlock Holmes, and red symbolizes strength, power, danger, blood, and war. Now, tell me these words doesn't resemble with the character John Watson, who is a doctor and a soldier. Even from the first season, these were their colors, but it wasn't that clear in the first season teaser poster. These two colors are way too dominant in this final season poster to indicate that we'll dive in more to the character stories rather than just another case in the season. Also, the dark tone of blue is much more dominant in the overall atmosphere of the composition, in addition to the Sherlock side, to give that depressed feeling to the audience, which also supports the catchphrase that poster released with, which was, "It is not a game anymore." Because it's not. It's not just another case, another game. It's more than that now, more serious, more personal in the season. And even just with the use of color, you can feel that concept. Of course, other elements and science supports and builds up to these significations as well, such as the use of light. Sherlock's face, for example, is in the shadows to indicate mystery and unknown to both the audience and to John. It's hard to read what goes in his mind, while on the other hand, John's face is completely in the light to show us how obvious and how readable he is to Sherlock. These lights and shadows on their faces can be considered as indexical signs since they are not directly related with mystery or readability at all. Yet they are not completely arbitrary significations as well. The fact that everything is visible in a bright environment and we can see things clearly in the dark helps us connect these visual features with these abstract terms, even in an indirect way. Also, on a more connotative note, we can infer that this season will set light to Sherlock's past by the light that hits his back as well. Now let's continue with the water, which symbolizes mental rebirth or a healing process in literature, which again suits so well with the character's arc they show this season. Also, water is very important in the specific context of Sherlock Holmes stories as well from the books. Every adaptation of Sherlock has always tried to reference the Reichenbach Falls story by Arthur Conan Doyle and the iconic waterfall scene, by either filming a similar scene directly or including water elements to remind the waterfall. But BBC Sherlock didn't just reference the book scene, but it gives even a deeper meaning to the water in Sherlock's life. The way we perceive water in this poster also symbolizes that meaning in the context of the show as well, rather than just the written original Sherlock Holmes character. They could have used water element in various ways, but They choose to use it as a float, as a distraction of their home, which is a perfect choice to show the place of the water in the BBC Sherlock's backstory. So that's it. We did both some denotative and connotative interpretations of the signs in this teaser poster to understand how they use semiology to tell us about what we'll be facing in an upcoming season.